A single bottle of wine, a masterpiece of fraud, once sold for $500,000. That bottle wasn't just old. It was supposedly a 1929 Domaine de la Romane Conti, a mythical vintage. The year was 2006, and the purchaser, like so many others, believed they were acquiring liquid history. But it was a lie, a carefully constructed fabrication, part of a staggering billion-dollar deception. At the heart of this audacious fraud was Rudy Kurniawan, a man who, for years, epitomized the high-flying, free-spending connoisseur. He charmed the elite, hosted lavish tastings, and curated a cellar so vast, so seemingly impeccable, that it commanded universal respect. His story begins in Indonesia, though the details of his early life remain shrouded in a deliberate ambiguity. What is known is that he arrived in Los Angeles in the early 2000s, almost overnight, with an apparently limitless fortune and a burgeoning passion for fine wine. He quickly became a fixture in the exclusive world of high-end wine collecting. Kurniawan wasn't merely a buyer. He was a force, outbidding seasoned collectors, acquiring entire cellars, and always appearing to possess an unparalleled palate and encyclopedic knowledge. His generosity was legendary. He'd open bottles worth tens of thousands of dollars for casual dinners, sharing rare vintages with friends and fellow enthusiasts. This cultivated image of the ultimate benefactor only solidified his standing and trust among the global elite. But beneath the veneer of bonhomie and extravagant spending lay a meticulous, sophisticated operation. Kurniawan wasn't just buying wine, he was making it. His secret laboratory, located in a suburban Los Angeles home, was where the magic, or rather, the deception happened. Here cheaper, more common wines were blended, often with a dash of older, genuine wine to give them a believable nose and mouthfeel. The goal was to mimic the taste, texture, and aroma of impossibly rare and expensive vintages. The labels were another critical component. Kurniawan employed a network of graphic designers and printers to create utterly convincing replicas of historical wine labels. He even aged them artificially, using tea stains and oven heat to simulate decades of cellar dust and wear. He even went so far as to source genuine antique corks or created new ones that looked convincingly old, branded with the correct shadorks and vintage dates. Every detail, no matter how minute, was painstakingly replicated to ensure the illusion was complete. The sheer audacity of his scheme was matched only by its scale. He forged thousands of bottles, encompassing some of the most sought-after names in the wine world: Domaine de la Romane Conti, Château Patris, Château Lafleur, and countless others. His output was prolific. The market, fueled by extreme wealth and a thirst for status, readily absorbed these fakes. The prices for rare wines had been skyrocketing, creating a perfect environment for someone like Kurniawan to thrive. His cellar became a goldmine. For years, his reputation was unblemished. He sold millions of dollars worth of wine through prestigious auction houses like Acker Merrill and Condit, who, it must be noted, were also taken in by his convincing facade. The first cracks in Kurniawan's meticulously constructed empire began to appear in 2007. Laurent Ponsot, proprietor of Domaine Ponsot, a highly respected Burgundy producer, noticed something deeply unsettling. Bottles of his Clos Saint Denis, supposedly from vintages 1945, 1949, and 1962, were appearing at auction. The problem? Domaine Ponsot didn't begin producing Clos Saint Denis until 1982. These wines were not merely rare, they were impossible. Ponsot launched his own investigation, a relentless pursuit of the truth that led him directly to Kurniawan. His inquiries raised serious red flags, but the initial response from the auction houses was often dismissive, unwilling to challenge a major consignor. Yet the seeds of doubt had been sown. Other prominent collectors, like Bill Koch, a billionaire energy magnate, began to question the provenance of some of his own expensive acquisitions. Koch eventually sued Kurniawan, initiating a long and costly legal battle. The net tightened in March 2012. Federal agents, acting on a warrant, raided Kurniawan's Los Angeles home, What they found confirmed the worst fears of the wine world, a veritable factory of fraud. Thousands of empty bottles, corks, labels, and an array of blending equipment were discovered. The air was thick with the smell of wine, old and new, and the stark reality of the deception became undeniable. It was a wine counterfeiting operation on an industrial scale. Kurniawan was arrested and charged with multiple counts of fraud. The ensuing trial captivated the wine world and beyond. Prosecutors meticulously laid out the evidence, demonstrating the incredible detail and brazenness of his scheme. In 2013, Rudy Kurniawan was found guilty. He was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison and ordered to pay restitution of over $28 million to his victims, though the true extent of the financial damage was estimated to be well over $100 million. The billion-dollar seller was ultimately a mirage. The scandal sent shockwaves through the wine industry, forcing auction houses and collectors to scrutinize provenance with unprecedented rigor. It exposed the vulnerabilities of an unregulated market driven by prestige. Rudy Kurniawan's story is a stark reminder of how easily trust can be exploited when desire outweighs due diligence. It underscores the human tendency to believe what we want to believe, especially when wrapped in the allure of exclusivity and immense value. The fake wine king served his time and was eventually deported back to Indonesia in 2021. The legacy of his fraud continues to echo, a cautionary tale whispered in the hushed halls of wine cellars worldwide. What other intricate deceptions have left their indelible mark on history?